guys. So, welcome to the Love Soul Movement podcast. For those of you listening on Spotify, welcome back. If you were there for the first couple episodes, if you're watching this on YouTube, welcome to the Love Soul Movement podcast. This will be published on the Love Soul Movement YouTube page from here on. I've got it on the Fearless Intuition page just so you guys know that it exists. If you want to go over to the Love Soul Movement, I'll put the link in the description box under this video. And you can subscribe, and those who are listening to this on Spotify or Anchor, if you want to go as well to the YouTube, the Love Soul Movement podcast, and subscribe there, that would be great. That would be awesome. I hope you guys are doing well. Apparently Spirit wants me to do every other week podcasts. At first I wanted to do them weekly, but I'm on this thing now where I'm very much intuitively listening to my body and intuitively listening to my energy and the flow and the direction I'm supposed to be doing things. And I don't even know what it was last week, like what happened that got in the way of the podcast. I don't remember specifically right now. But it always seems to be like the week after I do a podcast that I'm not able to like get it back together and do one for that week. So I was like, all right, I guess we're just doing bi-weekly right now. I'm kind of hoping that we're able to do weekly eventually in the future. But this is a go with the flow podcast that's going to be happening. Like, this is not, there will be surprises all over the place with this thing. And that's just because I'm a different person every day. I change every single day. I like different things. I want to do different things. And so, like, welcome to my journey. I hope you guys are enjoying your journeys along with me. I love having you here. So this week is an interesting topic. And, you know, Spirit was really brewing this topic in my mind, especially in the last couple of days. And I knew that, like, I was going to do the podcast earlier this week, and then I knew it wasn't time. And I knew it wasn't time. Like, it has to be on time for me to do things. But we were talking about manifesting today. And this isn't going to be the law of attraction, love and light, Abraham Hicks kind of thing that we're going to talk about today. We're not going to do any of that. And it's not that I don't believe in the law of attraction, and it's not that I don't believe in, you know, I don't know enough about that, because that's not how I learned how to manifest. I learned how to manifest in my own kind of way. And so I'm going to talk to you guys about that first. Well, not first, but eventually we're going to talk about that during this time that we have together today. But we're also going to talk about like matrix things. We're going to talk about things like having privilege and not having privilege when it comes to manifesting. We're going to talk about intention, whether you know, where your intention is and what your intention truly is for whatever it is that you're going to be. Like, we're not going to be talking about you just sitting with candles around you during a new moon ritual and writing on a piece of paper all the things that you want to come into your life. And then at the end of the ritual, you blow out all the candles and just go on with your life and don't do anything to try to get these things into your life. Like, that's not manifesting. And anybody who says that's all you have to do to manifest is spiritually bypassing like 600 different, like all sorts of ways. And then people will come to me and be like, but Betsy, I did the rituals. I have been doing yoga. I've been staying centered. I've been meditating. I read all the books. All the things. And I said, but are you working towards it? The word work, right? Nobody really likes to listen to that word. And I don't really like to use the word work because it has a negative connotation. But when it comes right down to it, that's really what it is that we have to do. We still have to do things to be able to manifest stuff into our lives. And I'm going to tell you a couple very interesting stories. I have a whole workshop available for manifesting. I'm going to start re-recording these workshops. There's going to be an opportunity to come to the live workshop with me, a one-time opportunity to come to the live workshop with me while I videotape it. And after that, everybody will have to get the videos of the workshops. But that's going to be coming down the pike probably. I'm hoping to do it this summer, but with the way that things have been going with me, it might not be until the fall. But stay tuned. I've got some amazing workshops to really like help elevate your life in a lot of big ways, like the shadow work series and the manifesting and the self-alignment and, you know, the detachment, the mastering detachment stuff, and just, you know, loving yourself, all of it. Yeah, we're going to do all of that stuff. But I do want to talk to you about this manifesting business. And there is kind of like, there's been this really big, one of the reasons why this topic came up for me in the last couple of weeks is there was this debate, of course, during, I mean, it's the eclipse season. It's retrograde season. Of course, there are going to be debates online. This is during like Gemini and Sagittarius eclipse season. That's like the information highway axis on the natal chart, right? So, of course, there's going to be debates on things, especially when Gemini energy comes. Well, Sagittarius energy too. Sagittarius just likes to nip it in the bud, where Gemini will keep the argument going and going and going. Sag doesn't want to waste the energy with the argument. You guys get it. So yeah, so there was this debate on Twitter, really interesting. And I saw a couple of tweets like, you know, you can't just tell people who, you know, of course you're going to think that you can just manifest anything that you want. And like, how dare you, like the audacity to think that anything in this lifetime is already yours without you like doing anything for it. Like you don't just get to take away someone's man. That's not already yours. You don't just get to take away someone's car. And so I think that, you know, when we have a limited amount of characters in a tweet, we probably shouldn't take a lot of things so seriously. But that's a topic for another day. That's a completely different topic for another day. And you know, the whole entitlement of thinking that whatever it is that you want is going to be yours. Yes, that can be very devastating to some people. And that's why when we're manifesting things, it's always for our best and highest good and the best and highest good of everybody else involved. This is not about trying to get revenge on somebody who took your man. This is not about trying to wish, and that's where the intention is, right? Like wish harm on any, you don't want to take this woman's, you don't even know this woman and you want to take her man. That doesn't sit right with me. Okay. So that's where the intention is. But yes, in the Twitter world, which is not reality, by the way, I just want to let everybody know, if you didn't know already, Twitter is 100% part of the matrix and not reality at all. And all the flowery things that are said on Twitter are repeated like 6 times by 6 different people every single day. So probably shouldn't put a whole lot of stock. Like there's Twitter pop psychology out there now too. You are going off of Psychology 101 from college because you were forced to take it because of your art history major wanted you to have some kind of psychology class. So now you know everything that somebody that has a PhD in psychology outside of Twitter that's actually giving real advice. No, that's not. Please don't spew stuff from things that you don't know about, right? I digress. Let me just like get off of my soapbox now. I have things to say, usually all the time. So the intention, you have to have, if you're manifesting things in life, and honestly, I don't think I've ever worked with anybody that had a negative intention when it came to manifesting. I don't think that anybody has ever, I don't think any friends, I don't think like any of that. I don't think there's ever been a time in my life that I've worked with somebody like that. But I know that it happens. I know that TikTok, it's been a lot of you probably don't even know that this happened or remember it. Those of you who are part of my memberships do remember me talking about this in one of the readings at about this time last year, when little baby witches on TikTok decided to hex the moon. And it was during a full moon ritual time. And I was like, we are not playing with rituals and the moon right now. Somebody like inexperienced tried to hexing the moon. Probably not so much a good idea, and not because you're harming the moon. You're not harming the moon in any way, shape, or form. The moon can take care of herself. You need to watch out for what you just did to yourself and your energy. That's the difference. It's a huge difference. So I digress again. But so it's about the intention. Like, you know, if you want to be with a particular person in your life, and you know that person is married in a relationship. And honestly, some people who will define some people don't define being in a relationship unless there is a ring on the finger, right? Or even a wedding ring on the finger. Some people define a relationship by, I am in a monogamous dating relationship with this person and I'm not going to date anybody else. So even the definition of being in a romantic relationship can go up and down and in and out and all over the place. It's 2021. Nothing is really as it seems, right? Nothing is. So, but if somebody is with someone else and clearly they're not available for you, and you're out here trying to manifest that person away from the other person, I feel bad for the innocent party of the other person that is literally getting this like energy put on them that they're not cared for, that their feelings don't matter, that their feelings aren't of anybody else's consequence. And granted, I don't go around thinking about everybody's feelings all the time because I used to do that, and that's exhausting. Like, here, let me stay out of the way so you can, you know, have your life and have your feelings and have all of the stuff and everything like that. But so I don't go around thinking about everybody's feelings. It's exhausting to do that. But when you are specifically doing something, you know, and sure, there are loopholes. Sure, we can always find a way out. Sure, there's straying outside of the lines. We don't always have to color inside of the lines. That's ridiculous. But you can tell that when you want something or you want to manifest something and you know that it's not necessarily right for your soul, for their soul, for anybody's soul who is involved, you get a feeling. And you know, and that's where you have to either go with your intuition or you have to go with your desire, right? And the desire is the ego part. And man, that ego can get really, really loud sometimes. So when we're manifesting, we want to manifest with intention. We want to manifest for the betterment of everybody. We're trying to make the world a better place. We're not trying to get in arguments with women who have a man that we want to be with, or a man, you know, we're not going to get in an argument with a man who has a woman that we want to be with. It's just not, we're not doing that. So manifesting with intention is huge. And Also, when you're manifesting with intention, you can tell when you're not putting love into the situation to manifest. So before we talk about that part, I want to go into privilege and talk about, and that's, man, this is a touchy subject. Touchy subject. And I know that some people are just going to be like, wow, she's going to go there. Okay. And I'm going to try not, I mean, like, I'll probably piss somebody off. I'm sure. It's just me. Who knows? It'll happen. So privilege. And I understand, I don't understand in a way a person of color, a black person, a person of color would understand. But I hear them, right? I hear what they say. And it is something where when people of color automatically have less privilege than people who are white, and they do, that's not up for debate in any way, shape, or form. Automatically, there is less privilege for black people in this country than there is for white people. Hands down, I'm not even debating about that. If anybody wants to debate me about that, you're going to get like solidly, the comment will be deleted because I'm sure I'll get some comments. Clearly it's a tougher journey, and that's incredibly unfortunate. I came from a background where I didn't have much at all. And even though I still grew up as a white girl in a very rich part of Kansas, in one of the richest counties in Kansas, I was very poor. That doesn't mean that I know what it feels like to be a black person who doesn't have any privilege at all. That absolutely doesn't mean that. I don't even know the pain that can cause for people. To hear a white person say, oh yes, you can just manifest anything. All you got to do is think positive. I can't even imagine what that feels like for somebody who's like, you have never lived my life and you don't even know. And I'm not even saying that that's not a real thing. I am saying that so many people come out of that kind of oppression and make something of themselves. And so that's how I know it can be overcome. That's how I know that even though I had a poor girl growing up in a rich city, I had more privilege than people of color did. It's still that it can be over. I've seen it. I see it every single day happening, every single day. So in saying that, and my voice is wavering because I'm getting very emotional, just thinking about like that kind of pain that you have to hold on to in knowing that. But all in the same sentence, the fact that I have seen that so many people overcome, and that's the glorious story, right? That's what we need. We need more people of color looking at white people that think that they have control over capitalism or what the fuck ever, and putting their middle finger up right at them and being like, I'm not going to succumb to what you have told me that I have to succumb to. That's where the magic is. That's a magical thing. And that's why I think like, I know some really amazing black women. Oh my God, they're so strong. And they've been through some things that I could never understand, because it's just like, it's hard. but they've wrapped their business up in their pain, in the things that they had to go through, so they can help other people and pull other people out from the place of being destitute, and showing them that, yes, even though this country told you that you deserve to be sleeping on a concrete sidewalk, I'm telling you right now that you deserve more than that. You deserve more than, the way the world told you that you were supposed to act and you were supposed to be. And one of them is, she was an assistant of mine, Jesselyn. And girl, I'm going to cry. I'm so proud of her. I am so proud of her. If you would have seen where she and I were at the end of 2019, and she's going to laugh when she listens to this. She's going to laugh at that part because she knows. Both of us, man, we were both barely standing up. And man, like the holes that we've had to dig to get out of where we were, rightfully so, we put ourselves there. We had to start breaking patterns and stuff. But that's what I'm talking about. Like, yes, manifesting is harder for people that were not born with privilege. But I don't even want to say that it's harder. I don't know if I want to even use that word, because for one person, something being hard is perceived to the other person that it's hard. It's not as hard. You know what I mean? So I don't even want to use that word harder. What I do want to say, the word that I do want to use is the journey just has more twists and turns and more lessons that we learn, and I know that I signed up for the difficult life that I came into. I know that I signed up for the difficult life I came into. And I know that I got to a point to where I realized the only person that was going to save me was myself. That's the only person that was ever going to save me was myself. And I could have easily given up and got lost within the matrix and, whatever, after all of the trials and tribulations that I went through. And I didn't. And my first podcast episode, I said, all this time my soul has been keeping my body alive. And I think that for a lot of, that's the deal for a lot of people that are healers, because most of us who are healers that came here to be healers have had a little bit more difficult lives than just like a normal upbringing, because we had to go through specific things on our journey so that we can look at you and say, I empathize with you. I know exactly, or I sympathize with you. I know what you're going through. I've been there. If you ever need to talk, if you ever need to vent, whatever, right? And I've seen that for a long time. I've always known that kind of part of me. But I think it's the glow up. It's that rising up that we have. We don't just have difficult lives. We have a resolve that's within us that could face a pack of lions. I don't think that's ever going to happen to me in my, you never know. The way that my life is going, maybe a pack of lions is in my future somewhere. And again, I should probably watch what I say, because I can manifest shit that comes right out of my mouth, easy like that. But so yes, I wanted to talk about the privilege stuff because I can 100% see how that can be a hindrance, about how that can be something that will stop people from trying, will stop people from, trying to do their best, or trying to shift perspectives, or trying to do whatever, because they've been told for so long that they don't belong, and they've been told for so long that they're not good enough, and they've been told for so long that, you know, their mere existence isn't good enough. And that's a heavy load. And I know so many people of color in this generation, in the Pluto and Scorpio generation, who are breaking generational curses that they signed up to break, these generational curses. And we're talking about like slaves. They're breaking the generational curses from back when their ancestors were slaves, you know, and it makes me shake to think about the pressure that they have on themselves. And so, yes, I understand how I can understand through thinking about it and talking with people and you know, really diving into the topic of what that looks like. And I understand it from my perspective. I'm never going to be able to understand it from a person of color's perspective, never, because I didn't sign up for that journey. But I can 100% be there to help them through it. Even if I don't fully understand what's going on, there's always room for somebody to say, you know, help me to understand a little bit more so I can be there for you when you need it. And I think that that's something that this country has lacked, is like just being cordial with each other, just being nice to each other, just looking at each other and saying, I may not understand where you came from, but I'm willing to try. Let's talk. Like, nobody does that. I think that people are, trying to do that, but I think it's a little overinflated when it's something that happens on the screen, you know, the movie screen or the TV screen or whatever. But I also, truly want to say that I hope that that's not something that holds people back, because when it comes to manifesting, it is truly about your own personal power. It's not about the way that the Matrix defined you. It's not about the way that the world defined you. It's about how strong you can be for yourself. And it's not about proving yourself to any one person. It's about being there for you. And I think that that's where we kind of get things screwed askew, a little messed up these days, because we want to I just lost my train of thought. It just went whoop. So I guess I'm not going there. Anyway. Okay, so now I want to talk about manifestation and how you are putting your energy out into the world. Everything is made of energy. Every single thing in this world is made of energy. We live in a hologram. At least that's what I believe. We are avatars in a hologram. We are souls living a human experience. We have lessons to learn while we're here. Because everything is made of energy, and we wrote our journeys. That I truly believe that. And, we've talked about this before, how I believe that we created this for ourselves. We wrote these journeys, and some people were like, I wouldn't have written this crappy life. And I'm like, see, and the reason why you don't believe it yet is because you still think your life is crappy. And if we compared lives with each other, which is something I don't like to do with people, because my life isn't any more or less crappy than anybody else's life when it comes to perspective. But if I were to compare my life to a lot of people's lives, my life was I had a lot more things going on than most people. So when they come at me and they're like, I didn't ask for this crappy life. I didn't write this crappy life for me to be in this journey. And then I'm like, well, then you're not ready to accept your full truth yet. You don't fully understand. You're not ready to accept that. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but once you realize the reason why your life was quote unquote crappy is because you had a whole bunch of lessons that you wanted to learn. Like, I know that I had tons of lessons I needed to learn because this is my last lifetime. I am not going to come back on to Earth. It's my last lifetime being a human. I'm not coming back to Earth next time. I wanted to learn as much as I could and release the karma, right? And sometimes when you have tons of lessons in your life, it's so that you can release karma and you can heal generational curses and you can do all of those things. So, since everything is energy and we have written our own stories, we've also written in the things that are ours, the stuff that we already knew that we wanted to manifest in this lifetime. And because of that, it's all just sitting in the quantum field. And the lessons that we learn during our lifetime are the things that get us to level up, to get our so we are at the vibrational match of whatever it is in the quantum field that we want. Like, if I never believed that I could get well, I would have been miserable. I would have struggled. Like we've talked about, if this would have happened to me before I started loving myself, if all of this blood clot stuff would have happened to me, and I was a miserable turd before, then it would have taken me months to recover. And like, I'm already walking without a cane. I'm already like, I went for a mile walk yesterday. It took me 25 minutes, but I fucking did it. And there we go. And like, that's what I'm celebrating, right? So we go through lessons to level ourselves up because we need to be prepared. I know somebody who was in, and I won't go through the whole story, but I know somebody who was in a lawsuit with a hospital and ended up winning that lawsuit, and like $20 million they won. That was after they paid their lawyer fees. And this was only 6 years. Oh no, this was only, like 6 years ago, and it's already gone. $20 million, just gone. All gone. Already within 6 years. I can't even imagine. Like, I know that I could probably spend that amount of money, but I would want it to last much longer. Like, there's like, I don't want to go through it that quickly. There's so many things that I know that I could do with it. So, and that was my example of why some people are like, I just want to win the lottery. And it's like, the reason why you don't win the lottery is because you would just squander the money away. You would just do whatever it is that you want with the money. You wouldn't do anything of significance. There's no good that you're putting out into the world or anything like that. And yes, some really crappy people win the lottery, and I understand that. And those really crappy people behind the scenes have some really crappy lives. All I'm going to say, like, we don't know that for a fact, but I guarantee you, whoever has tons of money that's out there are things that go behind the scenes in the Kardashian lives. There are things that go behind the scenes. And so this is what I'm saying is, like, yes, some people have all the money in the world. Some people have all of the things in the world. Some people have their own jets. Some people have their own, like, 6 houses and whatever, right? Like, they have all of the things. And I know, like, you can tell the people that have worked for this stuff, and you can tell the people that just, you know, didn't really work for the stuff and just kind of, I mean, like, how many rock bands or how many rap guys do you know, guys and girls, do you know, that have just squandered their money after like getting one gold, they're like a one-hit wonder, and they just squander their money, they just throw it away, and they're like not rich, you know, they're like not rich anymore. And then there are people that are smart about it and they invest it and they want to be able to have it for the long haul or whatever, right? So yes, we live in a world, but here's the thing with that, you guys. Abundance comes in all shapes and sizes. Yes, I think that having a lot of money and a really big house and a really nice car and a boat or yacht, all of those things, that would be so fun. That would be really, really great. Am I prepared to take care of all of that stuff right now? Am I prepared to have that amount of money right now? Probably not. I mean, like, I can think of myself in that millionaire status if I want to, and I can look at it and be like, man, that would be a blast. That would be really, really fun. And just hop right over and do it. Maybe tomorrow I'll be ready to do it, but like right in this moment, I kind of like my cozy little space that I'm in. And I kind of like the fact that I don't have to like walk from one wing to another wing to get to my kitchen or whatever, right? So there are certain things, right, that I've like thought about. And abundance doesn't necessarily mean money to everybody. Whatever kind of abundance, whatever kind of, and yes, someday I will have all of that stuff. I'm manifesting it right now. One day when it's right for me and it's for my best and highest good and it's for everybody else's best and highest good that's involved, I will have the house on the beach with the yacht. I will have all of that. And I'll have to go from one wing to another wing to get to the kitchen. It's just not today. But I have it in my mind. Like, it's still there. And I know that that's what divine timing is. When I am ready, when my vibration is ready for that, when I'm not like sick every once in a while, you know, every other day or whatever, like finding something new, but whatever. But the whole point is watching what you say while you manifest, because you can make, like, if you have a manifestation that you really want to have, and then you say, like, say you're trying to manifest a new home, and then you go and you find the home and you know that that's the home that you want and that's everything. It has everything on your list that you want. And then you go, man, I bet we're not even going to get it. I bet somebody else puts a bid in and we're not even going to get it. You better fucking believe that you're not going to get it, because you actually just said that you are not going to get it and you put that energy out into the universe. So instead of saying that, you say, I really am looking forward to getting this house, but if we don't end up getting this house, I know that there's something bigger and better for us coming up, or something that's much better suited for who we are. Because at the end of the day, desire, whatever it is that you want, doesn't actually fucking matter. Because the reason why it doesn't matter is because you've had an entire lifetime of programming and conditioning in your mind, and your soul knows what you need. Your soul knows everything that you're going to need in order to thrive in this life on your journey. And what happens, where we screw up is we get in the way of our soul all the time and say, no, but this is what I desire. This is what I want. Right? So allowing yourself the room within that manifestation for the universe, basically, you're giving up control, which is the best way to surrender. But showing up for yourself and looking at the universal stuff and saying, this is something that I truly, truly want in my life, but if this is not the place that we're supposed to be in, I want the universe to bring whatever's for our best and highest good and everybody else involved. And that could be children, that could be parents, that could, whatever, right? Doesn't matter. But there are people out there that'll be like, Betsy, I tried to manifest this house and it was exactly what I wanted and it had everything in it that I absolutely wanted. And they come to me and they say, but I didn't get the house, and I manifested it and I kept my vibration high and I said all the positive things. And then I said, well, then that wasn't your house. You need to wait for your house to show up. And it's absolutely true that the things that we're manifesting will call us into it. It will call us, like I manifested this house. I was homeless. Basically, I lived in a hotel suite for 2 years. I traveled for the first year, but then I settled down for a year and lived in the hotel suite because I wanted my boys to have some kind of semblance. And the story to where I got there, like, I'm not even going to get into it. It's old news. No, we're not going to get into that. But so I was homeless for 2 years and I had this opportunity right when the pandemic happened in 2020. My friend said, I need a roommate. I want to, let's, hunker down with each other. Like we were like getting ready to have the lockdown. And she was like, let's hunker down with each other. And I was like, sounds good to me. Let's do it. And I've known this girl for well over half my life, like 25 years. I don't know. It's been a long time. 26 years, I even want to say. Like since high school. And not just senior year, like she was a freshman. So yeah, anyway, I'm like reminiscing with myself. So that got me out of the same loop that I was going through so I got out of that loop and then I ended up going to Maryland. And through the whole time, I was really finding myself. I was really like finding a freedom within myself, and I was really opening up to myself, and I was finding this love that I hadn't previously had for myself, and it was really beautiful. And so what I started to do was think about how it would feel to do yoga in my own house. And I wanted hardwood floors. There were a couple things that I like specified about the house that I wanted. I didn't want it to be too big because I'm not really big into cleaning, so I wanted to have a minimal space that I would have to clean. I mean, when it's bigger, I'll have somebody come in and clean it. But right now, that's just, I don't really need that. But yeah, so I started thinking about myself, like I would place myself in the house. And some of you have heard this, so you're probably like, oh my God, this story again. I would place myself in the house doing yoga, and I would feel what it would feel like doing yoga in front of big windows on a hardwood floor, and it just felt lovely and glorious. And then a couple weeks after I started doing that while I was in Maryland, this house listing was texted to me. It was sent to me. And I was like, oh, wow, this is exactly it. This is what I need. But I didn't get, I said, because it was around a Mercury retrograde. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to set myself up for failure. First of all, you don't want to set yourself up for failure with manifestations. So if it looks like something is starting to come true, or there's a manifestation that's starting to come true, I don't want you to automatically go to the negative where you're like, oh my God, this is too good to be true. This is never going to happen for me. Because you can literally unmanifest the thing if you really wanted to. But setting the intention behind it, like, man, this is going to be really awesome if I can get this. But if this isn't the house, then the universe understand, like, it's just showing me that I'm on the right track, that I'm going the right direction, that the next one or 2 or 3 later, whatever is coming. I mean, I had been trying to manifest a place for well over 2 years. But I finally was in a peaceful space in my own energy that I was able to start doing it for real. And so this place came up. I asked my landlord if we could sign the lease before Mercury retrograde started. This was at in October of last year. And she was gladly, she was like, yep, that's fine. Which was awesome. So anybody who thinks that, like, because I've known a couple of people like, oh my God, I'm going to have to sign this lease during Mercury retrograde. Ask them. People. You have no idea how lenient people will understand the Mercury retrograde stuff more than you think they will. They will not think that you're wacky crazy. Trust me. So yeah, so I manifested this house, and then I got back here to Kansas City, and then I'm not even shitting you, like a month later, I manifested my partner. And the funny thing is like I wasn't really actively manifesting him, but because I was actively loving myself, and I was actively in love with myself, and I was actively really enjoying my life, and I was just doing, living my best life. Here he came because the universe was like, oh man, you're just doing so good. You deserve another gift. Here you go. And that was kind of like the icing on the cake, the cake topper. But then the funniest manifestation story, and I really wanted to tell you guys this because it's the most recent and funny, and the reason why I'm telling you guys all these things is like the universe will get very literal. And when you start to realize and see what your manifestation power looks like, you will be like so careful with the things that you say. You'll try not to be so negative. The things that you want in life, you'll be like, okay, I want this, but I don't want it to be too much. Like, here's an example of that. So for the last new moon ritual that I did with the memberships, because I would do new moon and full moon rituals with my memberships for my YouTube channel for the Fearless Intuition, which you can become a part of. They're actually getting readings on a regular basis, like weekly, or sometimes twice a week. They're getting energy readings done over there as I get acclimated to getting back into work. So if you've been missing my energy readings, or you've been missing, finding out some information that's going on, I think I'm actually going to be doing the signs for June and July next week. Something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going to actually do for the members. I don't know if I'm going to do it on the Fearless Intuition channel, like public. But anyway, we have a lot of fun in the memberships is kind of what I'm getting at. That was like a really long, sorry, that was a long commercial. What was I talking about? Oh. So the last new moon ritual we did was the Aries new moon ritual. And this was at, I think it was the beginning of April. And I didn't know anything that was going on with me yet. And during that new moon ritual, we were manifesting things that we wanted for ourselves in our lives. And I think I wrote down 5 different things, but the biggest thing that I remember, well, 2 of the things that I remember, but one of them was that I wanted to have good health, because I had been breaking out in idiopathic hives, like no reason, just breaking out in hives, and they were painful, like it was really, really bad. And so I wanted to get to the bottom of it, and I was manifested good health. And then 2 weeks later, I was hospitalized with a blood clot in my brain. And after going through tests, and I have like 12 doctors on my team, we found out that the hives were easily treatable. So I don't have hives anymore. Those have been cured, thank God. The blood clot is doing better. I'm walking again. I still have a little sensitivity in my eyes, but my eyesight, my vision, isn't as impaired as it was. So my vision is getting better. Even if the sensitivity is a little much, that's fine. I can wear sunglasses for a little while. but that's because of the swelling that was going on in my optic nerve. But then we also, so then, that good health manifestation went all the way down to the root of the problem. And the root of the problem is that I have a bone marrow disorder, and it's rare. And it's from a gene mutation, and it's not genetic. And they don't know how people who don't, it can be genetic, but mine is not genetic. And they don't know how people who are not genetically predisposed, how they get it. So it's a big question mark, but at the same time, they can treat it. There's a way to treat it. So I manifested having good health at the beginning of April. It is now almost the middle of June. And we finally got to the very root of the problem because my doctors are geniuses. I was given like such an amazing rare gift to have a team of doctors that I have. Getting a little sick of doctor visits, but I also know that it's very needed and it's very necessary. But when I realized, oh my God, I manifested this. This is exactly what I manifested. That's why I tell people, be careful what you manifest, because you will absolutely 100% get it, and it will not be in a way. Like, I thought I was just going to call up like an allergy doctor and like go see them for these hives, and that it would be whatever. And then everything just started kind of snowballing and happening and happening and happening. So, those are my little quick takes on like examples of manifesting things into your life. And you can manifest really amazing things, and you can and so when I tell people you can literally manifest a lesson, what do you think all of this health stuff for me was? This was absolutely a lesson in allowing myself to rest. I ended up losing more weight by sitting down and resting and not putting any more extra like stress on my body than when I was out there running and jogging and lifting weights and doing beach body and all of that stuff. Like, I lost more weight now, than before. But that's the thing, is like my soul knew exactly what I needed to do. And the second that I said I was ready for it, it was like, all right, kick it into high gear. Let's go. And that's why I've been able to keep relatively very good high spirit. I mean, like I could be an extremely miserable person these days, but we all know that I'm a little too Pollyanna-esque to be a so miserable person. But yeah, so manifestation, it's extremely potent. It's extremely potent. And when you realize what your power is, and that doesn't mean your status, that doesn't mean where you were born, that doesn't mean the color that you were born with on your skin. Status doesn't come, when it comes to manifesting in your soul, status is not a thing. It's you. It is your power. It is who you are. And when you look at the world and you say, I refuse to let you tell me that I am less than who I truly am. And when I say the world, I don't mean Gaia. Gaia is soft and sweet and loving and the mother, right? When I say the world, I mean the matrix. I mean the people, the capitalism, the patriarchy, the racism bullshit that happens out there. That's what I mean. And the moment that you step out of that and you say to yourself, I refuse to be a status symbol, or I refuse to be, just another percentage to you. I will not. I refuse to be that person. And you allow yourself to have that power. Manifestation it's not just a game. It's not just a ritual that we do during moons and suns. You are creating every single moment of your life, of every single day. That means that you are manifesting every single second of every single day. You can change this next moment just by shifting your perspective. You can turn this podcast off, and instead of saying, oh my God, I got to go back to work. I can't, my lunch break is over. I got to go back to work. You can say, man, that was a really great lunch break. I'm going to go kill the rest of this day. And then I'm going to go home and do something fun and enjoy my life and do things that are fun. And allowing yourself to have a better outlook on the rest of your day than a really shitty negative outlook on the rest of your day will work wonders. It'll do wonders for you. But you have to understand that you're in control of the way that that's going to look and the story that that's going to tell and the journey that you're going to take with that. You are in control of that. And when you give your control to everybody else that told you that you were less than, that's the second that you decide that you didn't want that power anyways. You see? So I hope that this was good for everybody. And, let me know if you guys want me to touch on some topics for you. Go ahead and put that. You can put it in the comments in the Fearless Intuition site. If you go over to the Love Soul Movement YouTube, you can put it in the comments over there too. If you're listening to this on Anchor, you can also, I'll put up a link that you can add some comments to that Anchor one as well. So I hope you all have a wonderful and lovely, lovely weekend. I hope you're having a wonderful summer. And thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. And I'll see you soon. Bye.